All right, I understand that we've re-established our connection to senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, who's in the sky for us. Aviwe, what is the latest where you are?
I can hear you, yes. Let me know. Cue me when you're... So they've literally marched these zamazamas towards the direction of the police. We're seeing one police van now eventually come on the scene. Now the zamazamas have just been seated this very moment. There is one police van visible and another van right next to it. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but what we've seen in the majority, we've just hovered around the majority of this area where we're looking from. It looks like they're definitely trying to root them out in their numbers. They're going inside even these mines. They're trying to track every corner of this area, trying to root out the illegal miners. But we can see now, of course, they have literally sat them down. Well, it looks like they're lying from where I can see now, and they surrounded them off near this police van. I'm not sure what's going to happen if they take them in, but we've even got communication from the police where they're trying to find out where we are crossing from. So we'd assume there's a bigger police deployment that will be on the way. But on the ground, it's literally littered with rocks, Fundo. You can see that this stretch of road hasn't been active because of the rocks, of course, that have been littered all over. We're going to track back and go back into the bush. Our pilot trying to show us some of the action as we see these zamazamas that are completely naked, by the way, that have been beaten along the way. They're now laying there with, in majority, the community members, but of course one or two of the police there that we're seeing for the first time throughout the course of the morning, Fundo. But of course, we've seen a lot of pockets of the community members of Kagiso looking for these zamazamas on the ground, and they're now trying to even some of them head towards where this crowd is. Not sure what's going to happen with them, but there has been concerning scenes of even one of them that seemed to be lying unconscious. Not sure what his state would be, but he's definitely not part of the group that we see over here on the ground. Of course, as the community say, that they've had enough of the terror that they have suffered. It looks like there's a policeman trying to address the situation on the ground there of these naked zamazamas that have been forcefully taken by the community of Kagiso. I'm not sure if our pilots then can direct us towards the bushes, towards our left, so we can get a better picture of what's happening. As we saw, there are different pockets of the community members that are spread out right across here. Some of them were burning the dwellings of these zamazamas, not only near Kagiso themselves, but right deep into the bush. And some of them were even going into some of these holes that we see around here in the West Rand area, trying to root out some of these zamazamas. And you'd see from time and again the smoke that is around here that would detail, of course, those fires, as some of them have been trying to burn these shacks here. Not the only area. This is just one of the areas that are seeing action. Some of them once more, and they continue with the burning. This is right about a kilometer or two away from Kagiso, the township itself, the shacks where we saw them march in their hundreds. There's still a lot of protesters closing the roads of Kagiso as they say that they've had enough. They did indicate that there would be this protest action that started right in the early hours. I see some of them carrying what looks like a generator as they go on to destroy these zamazamas that lie and stay around. Action that we've seen, of course, in the past days. We've seen even the police themselves take it upon themselves to these dwellings that were on top of an old mine, burning the dwellings, confiscating and taking some of the sophisticated process the gold, and those illegal miners that were there fled away, going deep inside the mines where the police say that they're coming to Kagiso, around Kagiso, given that the community now has upon the window really to take the law.
All right. right, Aviwe, let's actually rope in reporter Manqoba Mchunu, who's on the ground in Kagiso as well, but at Main Reef Road. Manqoba, what is taking place where you are at currently?
Well, Mfundo, certainly chaotic scenes here on the Main Reef Road, as you can see there from the visuals that my colleague Manqoba is showing you. We're seeing pockets of protesters here as well on the Main Reef. They've converged here, of course, as part of that shutdown here in Kagiso. And what you're seeing there are burning tires on the road. So many of the roads here, Mfundo, have been barricaded with burning tires. There are rocks that have been placed on the roads. And community members that are really protesting, they're out of their houses. They are saying that they want an end to illegal mining in this particular community. We're just going to try and move towards that direction, Mfundo, just to give you a better sense. I can tell you, Mfundo, that there are police here where we are at this particular scene. We've seen just a few inyalas of police that are here to try and perhaps bring the situation under control. But I can tell you, Mfundo, right now that these police, it appears that they are outnumbered by the protesters that are out here on the streets. Many of them, of course, insisting that they are not going to move here up until that issue has been resolved. Let me speak to this gentleman here. Baba nikhala ngani kahle komphakathi?
Batlogela bana ba batho man. Ba betsa siyo kanti. Ba betsa siyo di mense bana kanti. And ba sasokela ba soto ke ba soto fela. There's illegal immigrants ring ata mokas. Ne, ba sasokela bana ba batho gore ba etsa ba sa fela ke ba soto. Le nna ke mo soto ka motho wa re ke rona ka mosa ke. Ba nthola ne. Yeah.
So Baba uthi wena uhamsana lento you're not with the community when it comes to the issue of removing those illegal zamazamas here in the community.
Abazamazama uhle bitwa ke zamazama batho phani batlile msebetsi sasila ko wena kana utlile spanning ba nthola ne utlile spanning utlo hesha le wena kere ba iphandela something yabo so le bona ba zamile le bona kere mare ya go ripa a ke condone yone gana le bana ba banyana rona ba bang and it was botlhoko.
Well, this gentleman, Fundo, as you can hear, saying that they're not condoning what is happening here. He says that they should just let them be. They should, allow them to continue to perhaps try a living and to mine illegally. But you can see in Fundo that there are quite a number of community members that have come out here in their numbers that are protesting here this morning. And of course, I just want to ask my colleague Mbutseni just to turn this side towards Main Reef Road. You can see, of course, businesses here have been affected. They have been shut. They are not operating at this current moment because of the volatility of the situation. But as we move this side, Fundo, I just want to show you what's happening on this side. There are more protesters this side. We're seeing across even on the other side of Main Reef Road, there are pockets of protesters that have come here, and the street itself is closed. In fact, the police had not been allowing any of the vehicles to pass in this particular area. Up until now, they have opened the road a bit just to allow a bit of movement when it comes to traffic, because we understand, Fundo, that this is one of the main roads here in this particular place that links this place to Johannesburg as well as other areas like Soweto. But as you can see, quite a number of protesters here on the streets, young and old, who have come out here to protest this morning. And you can see in Fundo those police that are there. There are just only about 3 police vans. There's one in Nyala, there are 2 police vans that are there. And the police here, I can tell you, they're out, they're carrying firearms to try and perhaps keep the peace and the stability here on the street, and to avoid any clashes. Because earlier on, we are told, Mfundo, that there were some of the protesters who were actually stoning some of their vehicles that were passing on this particular street. As you can see there, they're armed, but at this particular point, they don't seem to be clashing with the community members themselves. The community members are out, they're singing here on the streets, and they're saying that they are not going to move up until this happens. I'm just going to try and perhaps speak to more community members and get a sense from them as to what is happening here. I see there's one of the organizers or leaders here of this protest. Baba, ngicela nisitshele ukuthi kwenzakala nje ngamanje kungalivale la.
Lana kuvalelwe ngokuthi bathi i-shutdown yaseMokhali City, the whole Mokhali City shutdown. So bavalele ngathi makuthi shutdown, there is no movement of cars. So amaphoyisa ayabadubula kuthi bangakhona ukumacha kahle. Bona amaphoyisa babagcwelela bayasaba ukuya eSoul City, badubula abantu baba innocent le ziyabuya. so bayayisaba lento ebuya lapha.
But we heard reports that cars were being stoned here. Why were cars being stoned?
There is no cars were stones here. The cars were stones, so there's cars of the police because they starting to shoot them with the rubber bullets and tear gas. And if I think in South Africa everyone have a right to do anything she wants. You have a right of movement. You have a right to toy.
So what is going to happen here, Baba? I see that you are still here. There are many community members here out on the streets. And what is going to happen?
No, we want the Zamazamas to cool down and move in our country because we are tired.
But they are armed, Baba. Are you not fearful perhaps that you could lose lives from this?
No, the police must go and fight with them than to be in the payroll of the Zamazamas.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's just one of the community members, Fundo, just giving us a sense of what is happening here. Of course, they're saying that they're going to remain here. They're going to ensure that there's no movement of vehicles at all in this particular part of Kagiso. And you can see many community members coming out here this morning. They're protesting, of course. They're saying that they're going to be here up until they have some sort of resolution as to how this issue will be dealt with.
All right, Manqoba, we'll leave it there for now and catch up with you a bit later. That's a reporter, Mchunu, also in Kagiso on Main Reef Road.